Today is a story of a PC that got neglected. It got abandoned by its previous owner to the state where it was the worst jungle sandwich that I have seen yet. However, the previous owner thought that this was a PC that was similar to the likes of a pizza that had been left in the microwave for 3 days and it was now unedible. But when I saw this PC, I saw a pizza that simply had no topping on it. All it needed was a bit of cheese, a bit of garlic, and then a bit of mushrooms. And then we're going to put it back in the oven and make ourselves one juicy meal. So let's take you on a journey and show you how I brought this $154 PC from trash to treasure, which costs less than a 2400G, the APU on its own. And this is a whole system. And we're going to do it in the one, the only, I have a PC which features a first gen i5. These are a 4-core, 4-threaded CPU, and you can overclock them quite well, even with the stock Intel cooler. It's also got a 7870, which in today's standards is still a really good graphics card. It's actually becoming one of my favorite used graphics cards because it's so underrated and the performance is actually really good, and you can still get really good overclocks out of them with keeping the temperatures low. There's also an Antec 500 watt power supply, a Gigabyte P55 UD4 motherboard, a deep-cooled Tesseract case, 8 GB of RAM, and also 160 GB 5400 RPM drive. Now the great thing about today's build is I'm only going to be changing around one part, and that's the 2 sticks of 2 GB of memory. I'm going to swap that for one 4 GB stick of memory. But anyway, with that aside, let the transformation begin. So here's the PC here, we've booted it up and it is looking so fresh. I mean, the power supply was even around the wrong way. So I've switched that around and that enabled me to get the 8-pin CPU pin connector behind the back of the motherboard and cable manage absolutely fine. However, what about these parts? We've got the 7870, which as much as people hype up the 7970 and the 7950, and they're still really good cards to this date, the 7870, in my opinion, is one of the best cards. It's really underrated. This thing's scoring around about 7,000 GPU score when we overclock it, and it's up from about 6,200. So we managed to get about 1,200 megahertz on the core when we overclocked it. Got a little bit more out of the memory as well, and the temperatures in games are still absolutely fine. The CPU running on the stock cooler. The stock cooler, of course, being a limitation, but of course, we're not putting any extra money into this computer. We managed to get this from I think it's 2.67 gigahertz, all the way up to 3.6 gigahertz. So we saw a 30% boost in performance on the stock cooler, and in games, it's still not doing too bad. This is at an ambient temperature, by the way, of around 30 degrees, so it is summer here. So this is like a worst case scenario, and the results are phenomenal, at least with the overclocks. So let's get into some games and see how this... PC behind me, and it is running so well that I'm really shocked at how much performance you can get out of a PC that costs you literally next to nothing. If you want to get into PC gaming and you're on a budget, you can see there the Fortnite results. We're playing 1080p high settings and we're getting around 60 FPS. Drop it down to medium, we can get more FPS if we want to. PUBG 1080p, very low settings. We're getting around 70 FPS, up to 80 sometimes. Really good experience. And then we move over to Destiny 2, it's the same deal. High settings, 1080p, this thing can do it at around 70 FPS. So all these three games, which are very popular games, are playing extremely well at 1080p, which is a great sweet spot for gaming in my opinion, especially if you're on a budget. So what we've got here, 154 US dollars, 200 Australian dollars. So in this current cryptocurrency apocalypse, you can still get really good deals and really good gaming performance. By the way, it'll play games like CSGO, Dota 2 absolutely fine. If it can run PUBG, it'll run practically any competitive multiplayer title out there. Overwatch as well. So that's why I usually run PUBG as a baseline benchmark. This thing can definitely do it. Now, the one thing I would change in this build would be that hard drive. It's like a laptop hard drive. It is very slow. It did take me a while to install games, and sometimes in the games, they will stutter due to that drive. So if it was one thing you had to do, if you had a little bit of extra money, would be to drop in a 3.5-inch 7200 RPM hard drive. Also, one game in particular was PUBG that people told me to take a look at, as there was a recent update that apparently helped with optimization. I didn't really notice a whole lot of difference between this update, and I've tested i5s, the exact same i5 in the past. The FPS was around the same. One thing I did notice, however, the new desert map seems to be running a lot smoother, so that's maybe where the optimizations were applied. But again, for what it was worth, it really didn't make a difference in raw performance increases. So now one thing I wanted to talk about also was the process of cleaning this PC. A lot of people have been asking me lately to do a guide on how to clean your PC, and I'll be doing that very shortly because there's a lot of requests. An updated guide on how to clean your PC in 2018, because I did recently get a new tool. It's the Data Vac. This thing's just essentially just blows a lot of air out. It's an electric air blower. It'll do a great job of cleaning your PC. I recently compared it against a $25 cooler, and it did a little bit better. It's a really good tool for initially getting all that grime out, dirt, And then I'd use the brake cleaner for things like GPU dies, anything that's sort of real finicky and it needs a good clean to get all like old thermal paste off. And then of course the WD-40 is the new look shine. But I'll be going through a guide on how I use all those in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. But what we got behind me is something, as I said in the intro, it's been neglected. People think that they can no longer get any performance out of it because it might be throttling due to some old thermal paste on the GPU die. Maybe the CPU die as well, that needs a thermal paste change. But once you do all that and you overclock it, because this generation of computers has so much potential, the first gen i5s and the Xeons, they got so much potential when it comes to overclocking. If you can extract that potential, then you're just gonna be getting some really good gaming numbers on your 1080p monitor. But really, when it comes down to it, one man's trash can be another man's treasure. I really saw potential in these builds. I see potential in any used PC parts. It just comes down to how much time you're willing to spend. I mean, this would really not take me that long if I didn't have to film and record everything. But there is a part of me that's happy with this PC. I mean, I can turn around and flip it and make a bit of profit. But there's another part of me that makes me sad because someone just completely abandons this PC. They go out and buy a new PC, and a lot of the times, people message me and they're like, whoa, my new PC is not performing anywhere near these used PCs you're putting together. And that's because some of the parts just aren't as powerful as some of this old used stuff. I mean, the 7870 is practically double the performance of a 2400G. That's AMD's latest Ryzen APU, the best one they've got. They've got two SKUs. They've got the 2200G, they've also got the 2400G. This thing is performing a lot better, and this is a graphics card that's going on nearly 6 years old now. So you can see the amount of performance you can extract out of these old used PC parts. It's absolutely phenomenal. You just got to apply a bit of magic to it and give it some tech yes loving. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then be sure to slap that like button and let me know in the comment section below if you like this PC or if you would change anything personally. Love reading your thoughts and opinions as always, and if you've got any requests as well, then be sure to bang them out in the comments as well. There's a lot of requests coming in lately and I'm going to be fulfilling them for you guys, so I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye. You are probably wondering what is going on. Welcome back guys. So today guys, we have, okay, awesome. So what we're going to do is the build also came with an Antec 500 watt power supply, a Gigabyte P55 UD4 motherboard, a deep cool case. That I would like to change around would be the memory, changing those two gigabytes. I'm gonna swap that for one 4 gigabyte stick of memory so we can run a true dual channel memory consistent. So we can run